In your own words, what is imposter syndrome? So what's your name and what do you do for work?
Hi, I'm Allie Sillens. I'm a program manager at Google.
I'm Alexa. I'm a product designer. I work at a tech company here in San Francisco.
My name is Christine. I work as a UX product designer here in San Francisco.
I'm Diego. I'm a software engineer at Zendesk.
Hi, I'm Shardul, and I'm a technical product marketing manager at Salesforce.
I'm so flustered right now. This is such a hot seat. Oh my God.
So how would you define imposter syndrome? Yeah.
It's this feeling like it doesn't matter what you do, you're never gonna be worthy of the position that you have.
I feel all of a sudden like I don't deserve it. People are gonna realize I'm a fraud and they're gonna take away my position, they're gonna fire me.
Imposter syndrome to me is not knowing or feeling like you deserve to be in a room or a certain community.
Do you have a personal experience that you can share?
Again, I feel like it comes on kind of like all the time in little moments, like at work, for example.
From this meeting that I had, it was a design critique, and I said something about this design element, and the reaction in the room was not very great. Because of the response, it turned into shame. I'm not good enough, not that the idea wasn't good enough.
Imposter syndrome has a way of playing out here in very nuanced ways. The way I feel it a lot is when people use the pronoun he to describe people who you don't know the gender of. When I constantly hear people making comments about how there are things you can do in this world that are great and just always saying he to it, it feels like there's not a place for me as someone who identifies as she.
So I have a YouTube channel called Chum Buns, and
Link in the description.
go subscribe. So even now, I don't share with my coworkers that I have a YouTube channel. I hide it, and then people find out because they start following me on Instagram. I just pivot the conversation into something else. I fear that when people see this side of me, that doesn't really match in my head, right? This is all like in my own inner world. I fear that they're not going to embrace myself or embrace me. When we get to the bottom of it, it's a fear of rejection.
You recently told me you got a promotion?
I did, yeah. I got promoted, and so part of this promotion was I got written proof from people saying, Allie, you're amazing at your job. We really appreciate having you here. You're doing great work. And still, after all of that, I still feel like sometimes I'm not the right person for this job. There's gotta be someone better out there than me.
I think 3 years ago, I could not have imagined to do, just in work, what it is that I'm doing now. And that's why I accept that imposter syndrome may just persist through the entirety of my life. I'm gonna see a challenge that's harder and deeper than anything I've ever dealt with before. If I can overcome it, then I know that once again, I've earned it.
I really like this idea of trying to understand what it means to deserve something. So what does it mean to deserve something? I work really hard. I love working. Like, it's just, I have a lot of energy and I want to use it and I like working. And so therefore, shouldn't I deserve whatever it is, like all the success that comes with that, right? But yeah, what does that mean? There's a lot of nuance to it.
I do think people deserve recognition for things that they've done well. And even giving recognition for the smallest things to make sure that those people are heard and they feel like they belong, and so that they're not feeling imposter syndrome when they're in these big team meetings and big team projects.
How do you receive compliments?
Yeah, validation and compliment and recognition are 3 things that I'm terrible at receiving.
So growing up Chinese, I resonate with that in a cultural sense. Like growing up, you're supposed to deflect all compliments because you don't want to seem egotistical. Do you feel like culturally that kind of contributed to that?
Yeah, I think growing up in an Indian community, you don't really hear a lot of compliments. Every once in a while, your parents would be like, oh yeah, great job, kid. But it would be almost in like a sarcastic-y tone.
What do you do to make you feel like you're enough?
I tell myself I'm loved. I know it's like super cheesy, but I really believe everyone has this desire to be fully loved, and I have to do that with myself first. And if I don't know how to love myself, I ultimately don't know how to love people. And how do you get over your imposter syndrome? What are some ways that have helped you?
Great question.
It's a lot easier to talk about things when they have names with them. If you don't know the phrase imposter syndrome, you might feel a lot more like you lack confidence or just those feelings of, it's not me, I'm not worth it. But if you can't actually put a word to describe it, then how do you find people like you, and how do you team up to fight it together, and how do you move past it?
I think it's important when you don't feel like you deserve something to make sure you have your team and have people who support you, to make sure that they're there to be like we're in this together. You're doing fine, you're doing great, just keep going.
I've always felt that like if you're confident enough and if you're proud about what you've done, people essentially will believe you, even if what you're saying, you don't really believe it yourself.
Letting somebody know that you are feeling vulnerable will make you realize that the person that you're speaking to also feels vulnerable. Like the moment that you say it, you can see the empathy in their eyes. And you realize that it's not just you, it's them too. And then it's everybody around you.
I have to remind myself that I'm worth more than what I can make, what I can provide to my company.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Like, I'm not sure this is something we want to ever avoid. Like wanting to be better, which is I think what the root of it all is good. Like that's a good thing to have. I think it's great to look up to people for inspiration, and but it's not fair to compare yourself to them. You're not them, you're yourself.
Hey friends, hope you enjoyed this second episode of Hot Seat.
Where we bring together a group of strangers to share their stories around their various insecurities.
Let us know in the comments which insecurity you'd like to see us hot seat next.
And make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to make sure you don't miss any other videos.
And make sure to subscribe to Alexa's channel where she makes videos on tech and life in San Francisco. So, much love everybody.
We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. That's good. That was cute.
Yeah. Check out a few of these other, the videos are gonna pop up over your face.
No.
Check out a few of these other videos.
Bottom. Well, they're not going on my face.
I always have them on the side.
Yeah, but you gotta switch things up. I'm here.
Like the other day I was talking with my friend and I asked him, oh, I'm doing this imposter syndrome video. What should I talk about? And he was like, well, what do you want to talk about? It's like this thing of what do they want me to say instead of what do I want to say?